You're right, Gangrene UK. You're joining us for episode 63. It's a little bit different tonight. I'm joined by fellow admin Fraser, and we've also got the newest writer for the Jets in the UK, Callum, and everybody's favourite question master, Tom Legg. So thanks for coming along, guys. Fraser, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Just glad to get back in it after coming back from a holiday and kind of taking a back step for the last few weeks. So
yeah, it's good to have you back. I don't think I've ever seen so many messages off you.
I said when I went on holiday I was going to be quiet, and I think I sent more messages because I was just bored by the pool.
Yeah, we got more in 2 weeks than we did in the last year, but I mean, it was all good. It was an action-packed time. Tom, how you doing? I feel like I've not spoken to you forever.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
How's your back?
How's me back? Yeah, a lot better now. It's a lot more rested now. So I'm ready to go, and I'm feeling a lot better.
Cool. Cal, welcome. How's it going? How are you finding the writing?
Good, mate. It's enjoyable. It's hard work because there's a lot to write because it's more of a column thing. But no, it's good, yeah.
Oh, cool. I've read both of them, which is a big change for me. I normally get about halfway through and go, yeah, I'm done. I am the worst person in the world for reading stuff because I like to make my own opinion up from stuff and not really look at that. Which winds Fraser up all the time because I never read a full post.
It's not just reading though, is it? It's the same when one Jets drives on any more than 20 minutes and you're bored.
Yeah, we've got the attention spans of goldfish now. But guys, can you believe this? We are doing a video, right? The Jets, they're not just having a winning season so far. We're on a 4-game streak. Like, this hasn't happened for I think it's about 7 years, isn't it? I mean, Tom, you won't have even been born. So Fraser, how are you feeling about this streak? And obviously the last 4 games, we won't go into mad detail about the games because it's been so long, but how are we feeling just about this streak, the way the Jets are playing?
Yeah, obviously we've got to be happy. It's been many years since we've won games, let alone having a streak of 4 games. Obviously a lot of positives. I still think there's a lot of negatives, but that said, it's supposed to be the hardest part of the schedule. So when you look at it in that way as well, hopefully all the negatives we can improve in, and especially the second half of the season. But yeah, like no matter how bad any player's playing, like 5-2, you can't not be happy. Like if we're sitting here and we're really disappointed at 5-2 and nitpicking, then there's something wrong with us as fans, isn't there, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure if we go back a few videos as well, there was a point where people were looking at me as an idiot because I said, imagine if we went into the bye with 5 wins. And that was unthinkable. Like, we're talking like a few months back, that was insane.
Yeah.
So Tom, how are you feeling about the streak? I mean, because I get a message every bloody morning.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always excited. It is unreal at the moment, and looking at all the power rankings that are coming out at the moment, and I said to you, I always start on the right side. Like, I always start going down from 32, going, we're in the 20s or something like that, and they go, no. Oh, okay, right, okay. And we're like, what? In one of them, we were like number 7, and I was like, how did we get it? Like, the leaps we've made this season so far is absolutely unreal, and I couldn't be happier. Like, there has been some, the Broncos one was a bit of a messy one, but we got through it in the end. Defense is always going to carry us. But yeah, I'm so happy at the moment.
I mean, that's all we can ask for as fans. Now, Cal, I think 90% of the people will know how you feel about it because you've wrote about it. But how are you feeling about the streak?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to make the Super Bowl, but it was very similar to the end of last season when obviously the Bengals did what they did, and I was thinking, you know, with the coaching staff going into their second season, could that be us? And it could be, it might not be, but I think we can't not enjoy it. And it's obviously in the back of your mind thinking, when's it going to come to an end? Because you're going to lose another game eventually, I'd imagine. But yeah, you got to enjoy it. And I think this week is probably the most testing one we've had, I'd say.
See, I mean, I read it and I know what you said about it being tested. I think more mentally testing than physically. I think Bill Belichick knows how to wind quarterbacks up. Just the fortunate thing at the moment, he doesn't have the team that can execute as well as what he's had in the past. But I'm kind of like the same as everybody. I'm enjoying it, but everybody knows I am the eternal optimist. I mean, even in that game where we had 1:57 left, I was messaging every group I'm in saying, just have faith. It's not over yet. Statistically, we can win this. That onside kick when it came back, like I'm going to lift Braden Mann and hold him above the whole crowd on my own. Well, it won't be above the crowd. It'll be kind of like head height. But like literally, it was one of those where I love games like the Denver game where it's ugly and it's hard fought defense. Offenses get overrated too much for me. So I'm loving the football at the minute. I agree with Fraser. There is some horrendous parts, but we can't not enjoy where we're at. And it's one of those where we all know what everybody's talking about at the minute. We've got two major talking points. We've got number 8 and number 2. And I mean, me and Fraser are kind of on opposite sides on number 8. Neither one of us want rid of him, but I don't really mind what he's done. Where, like, I'm okay with it. Like, people have done worse, and we've kept them and done more. But like, so for it, how are you feeling about Elijah Moore? Like one week on.
I mean, obviously, not as bad as what I was when he was doing it. Obviously, I still hope that he can get over it, forget about it, just be a team player again. Hopefully, well, I think I seen today when I finished work, I looked on Twitter and I think I seen something about he's potentially going to the slot anyway, which is going to be a big plus for him and a big plus for us. I just don't like the fact that he thinks he can do that when he's not even, well, he's only played 17 games because of his injury and stuff. He's halfway through his second season. He's on a winning team and he's complaining and having a bit of attitude. Like, I just don't like it. And especially, we talked about it at the beginning of the season, how Joe and Robert were building a team and a culture and they want the right players, and it just didn't sit well with me the way he was acting and coming out like that. He had no right to do it. In reality, he's not proven anything. He's going to be a good player. You know, he's got the ability, but he's not proven enough to act like that this early.
I fully agree with that.
I hope that he sorts it out and we're forgetting about this in a couple of weeks and that's the end of the story, because we've seen it with other players. We've seen players, as you say, you're comparing it to likes of Debo and that before they got paid. I look at it slightly different because they've proved it in the league over the years. So to me, they were entitled to kind of, you know.
Yeah, when you have a season like Debo last year.
Yeah.
You can go, you know what, guys? My ass is a nice place to sit right now.
Yeah, but it didn't sit right with me. Obviously, I love him as a player. He's a great player, but yeah, he's got to prove it now, and he's got to come out and he's got to say something. I know he's put stuff on Twitter, but he's not come out and said anything about his teammates getting injured, 2 big players. He's not come out and said anything about the team. So to me, I still think he's kind of holding that probably a grudge towards him and probably still wanting out, but I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, he's going anywhere. Callum, how are you feeling about number 8?
is it all right to say I'm in the middle of both of what you think? I'm like hating what he did, but I'm sort of, wanting him to, go on now and do well. I think now that I think we're going to see him come out in the coming days, hopefully, and talk to the media, and hopefully he can acknowledge what he's done is probably not the wisest move, but I think I want him to go to the slot and get some more attention in the offense, and because I do think he's a good player, but at the same time I was thinking, we're not fair enough if we were on a 3 or 4 game losing streak, and you need that emphasis on having more players do more in the offense. But yeah, I think it was slightly the wrong move, but I don't hate him as a person, as a player. I like him, and you wouldn't not want a player like that in your offense. So I hope he can continue to grow, but I suppose the coming days we'll find that out.
Yeah. Tom, where are you sitting?
I sit in between. I think Moore has hung around with some questionable people. He needs to kind of choose his friends a little bit more carefully, because I think he was just getting too much kind of whispers in his ear kind of thing. There was a recent photo dug up of him having dinner with Adams and Marcus May just after the draft, and obviously with AJ Brown in his ear as well. I just think he's got mixed up in some things, and he's taken it. He's kind of thinking he can get away with it at first, but obviously good on Salah and Douglas to go, right, take some time off, come back when you're feeling more refreshed. And there was obviously Moore's gone back to practice, and Lefeur's gone up to him, gave him right, water under the bridge. Let's just keep going. We'll meet some of your needs, and hopefully we can move on from this. I don't want to lose him. He's made a bad choice, but don't we all? When we kind of want to do something, but kind of have something hold us back, kind of thing. But I just think we need to kind of move past this, and I hope the kind of Jets media kind of slows down a bit, because I fear for him Sunday, because obviously he's annoyed a lot of people, but we don't need to be egging him on. We need to be going, right, stupid things done, let's just move on.
Yeah, see, that's a big thing, right? So there's one thing I'm going to say I thought I knew. I still believe it. I believe Elijah Moore is possibly one of the best balanced characters within the room. I think his core beliefs are very good. They were when he came out of college, what he did at college, everything like that. Those type of things don't change without major incident, because they're your core beliefs. Like, we all have them. But some of the stuff that's been online is vile. Like, there's nothing more toxic. Like, I love Jets Twitter. They can do amazing things when they want to, but God, when they're upset, what a vile bunch. I mean, like, some of it's awful, and I'm kind of the same time. I think Sunday will be awful, but all he needs to do, catch that ball, run them yards. That's the best way to show people, you know what I did was right, because it got me back in the slot. It got me on targets. But if he doesn't produce, can you imagine what they're going to do? Like, it's not a case of wanting to leave. He might have to. The whole thing, it was one of them where he handled it badly, and then it escalated. Personally, I don't think it's got anything to do with AJ. I don't think it's got anything to do with Jamal. I don't think it's got anything to do with Marcus May. I think something in his life has got on top of him. He has always been a desired target, we'll say. And this season, he's been an afterthought. And I think he's annoyed that the fact we're doing well without him. And Sunday must have killed him, because I believe if we had him in that game and we played him the way he plays, there was a few more players on where we might have been all right, because he gets good separation where others weren't getting separation against that great defense, because Denver were a great defense. They were dirty, but they were a good defense. So yeah, the Elijah Moore thing for me, if he comes in and balls out like we know he can, that's it. It's done. It's dusted. You know what? We'll come back to it at the end of the season. He might not be here. He might not. You know what? That's fine. But mid-season, do your damn job. That's what you paid for. Do your job. And if it takes him sitting out a week and putting his point across to get him into where he'll do well, I'm all for it. Go for it. Just be aware that people are going to go back. I mean, I've seen the videos today. I mean, LaFleur and him seem to be good. Berrios and him did a really cool handshake. There's loads going on to show that it's good. So then you're like, is it media hype? Is it things that have like they've been there to roll out of situation? We don't know. I mean, instantly I said to Fraser that I think there's something going on in his personal life, because I feel like he is that person that if he was going through a breakup or he had an argument, everything in his world would be awful. But we don't. So
sorry, mate.
No, go for it.
I did when it all started to kick off, kind of thing. I did make a point, and I watched. Can't remember who said it, but we're doing well in the league. We're 5-2. You know, we're winning. We're going through all that, and it seems like when you do bad, you pick out the bad things. It's quite easy to pick out the bad things. But when things are going really good, like they'll pick at anything, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
no need for it, but there's
no need for it. We're winning. I've been looking on Jets, as you said, about Jets Twitter kind of thing, and it's like it's no point nitpicking at the moment. We're doing well. Let's take this ride. We've done losing seasons. We're going towards a playoff run. Let's just enjoy it. And then after the season, we go back to the nitty-gritty. It's fine. That's when you can start making all the changes and decisions and all that. But like at this moment, let's just be happy and just ride it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the one thing that we do have to talk about, let's try not a rant, but let's talk about it in a good thing. I mean, Fraser, who we're talking about?
Well, we know who we're talking about.
So come on, tell us, what are you thinking about too?
I mean, right. You know what I was like before we drafted him. It was top of my list for a long time, and a lot of people didn't want him because of the school he was coming from, but I was determined that we'd get him. So obviously I was happy with that. I still think he'll be good. Is he going to be a franchise quarterback that's going to take us far, or is he going to be, say, another Derek Carr kind of type player? Which, don't get me wrong, if you could say today that he was going to turn into a Derek Carr, I mean, a lot of us would take that simply because of what we've had in the past. His issues for me, I feel like some of them should have been cleaned up by now already. I get that the last few weeks he's played really tough defenses. I get that, and you know you can give him a bit of leeway for that. It's the things that we're kind of making excuses for. Not. I don't mean like personally you or anybody else. I mean like everybody in general. Yeah. So there was so many open receivers that he missed in that Denver game. So many easy passes that he either put too low or too high. And you need to kind of look at it closely, because I know he was getting pressure, but some of the passes he wasn't really getting pressure and he was panicking straight away. I mean, you look at his feet, and he's not planting them. He's not doing the right thing. He's off balance when he's throwing it. His feet are both in it. Like the one that he missed, I think it was at Conklin. I think it went just over his head.
Yeah.
Both his feet, I don't know what he was doing. It was like he was jumping back at an angle. He had no pressure, no real pressure on him. He still had time. So it's the kind of I can't remember who it was that said in the chat. I said he's short passes, but it's not. It's more he's intermediate. He's kind
Anything
of
over 10 yards, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from 10 to 20 yard range. He seems to really, really, really struggle. Now, that's obviously a worry because if you're throwing the ball on first down, you want to get at least 5, 6, 7 yards. You don't want to be going into second and third downs with 4 or 5 yards still to go. You don't want to be doing that.
20 normally, mate. Like 7 I'd take.
Yeah, but obviously he can clean them up. I think Mike's got a lot to do with it as well. I don't think this is all on Zach. I mean, I was banging at the table about Mike's play calling and his decision making and how he's running that offense, and I still think it's there. I know we're winning games, but I still think that's part of the issue as well. I love the kid. I want him to be our guy, but he has to do something the rest of this season. He has to be able to do something, or it's going to get people talking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's all fair points because everything you're bringing up, you can see it. I mean, I don't agree with many of them, but we know that. Now, Callum, I'm coming to you, but I don't want you rant on here. We're saving that for later. So how are you feeling about 2? And obviously he's only played 17 games for the Jets, which is always that thing that, because we've just said Elijah Moore hasn't proven enough yet to do it, to be classed as anything. And he's only played the same amount of games as Zach. So we've kind of got to go the same thing. He hasn't really had the time to show anything, but how are you feeling about him as a whole?
I think first of all, you've got to look at, he's had no preseason. He's come into the season. He's played the 4 games that we've won. So based off that alone, I think it's hard to be nitpicking at him. However, I understand we need to see more progression from him because it is that stage now where, he's not just in fields where he's got a rookie coaching setup behind him and everything like that. He's got, he's in his second year. Salah, Lafleur, they're all in their second year. So I think we do need to be seeing that progression. But I think there's a lot of things. I think a lot of it is to do with where he's playing football. He's in an area where, he's gonna have eyes on him everything he does. So, I think that doesn't help him. But yeah, I think you look at the Denver game and they've made every quarterback they've played against look poor, apart from Geno Smith and even Justin Herbert. And I think there was a lot of things. Chris Sims on the NBC podcast said it in the week. There was a lot of things he did well in the game. That I think what doesn't help him, like Fraser said, there's some situations Lafleur puts him in that I think they do him an injustice. But I think you've got to look at it and see that when his first target wasn't on in the Denver game, his escapism was really good. And, he's obviously just had to throw it away, which looks annoying. It looks a bit rough, but it's, better than fumbling it or getting, intercepted. He was lucky with the one that probably should have been a fumble. I think he got away with that one, but there was a lot of things he could have done, like the pass to Conklin. There was a few missed targets, but I don't think it was a bad game. I think it was a decent game, and we all knew it was going to be ugly. But, MetLife at home to the Patriots without Brees in the backfield. Yeah, we've got, the new sort of duo in the running back system we can talk about. But I think he's got to show more. But I think he's getting a little bit too much stick at this point, I think.
Yeah, fair. How about you, Tom?
I've been pretty passionate about this for quite a while, actually, with Lafleur's kind of decision calling and his play style. I think at this point we're kind of riding on a winning streak on how what the kind of play calling we've been doing for the last 4 games. I don't think it's more of the run friendly kind of play style, and it's safe. Zach is not throwing the ball. He hasn't thrown an interception in a while. yeah, I'd like to see, him throw the ball and make those deep throws and make those fancy shots and all that. And obviously, yeah, there's the problems with the missed passes, but the Broncos, as everyone has said, it was an ugly game, and the Broncos defense had held back a lot of the quarterbacks they played. So I'm gonna give the kid a chance. I realize, I like the kid as well. I think, I hope he's going to be, our franchise quarterback, because he suits it. He's settled in, and he's the face of the Jets. And I don't know. We'll see how we do against the Patriots. Then I'll start making some
honestly,
thoughts on that.
It's good to get other opinions in it, because obviously, I say that me and Callum talk quite often. Me and you were in a group, Tom, and I mean with Fraser every day, so I actually talk to all of you quite a lot. But it's that thing of where I sit on the Zach situation of some of these issues, especially the ones that you mentioned, Fraser, about this jumping back, right? If we kind of look back at the Green Bay game, there was 3 or 4 of those passes that he tried to make to that middle route that were tipped. And in Denver, he was leaning back to get a bit more height to bring them down. Now, it's in his head. We know this happens with quarterbacks. When you get 3 passes patted down in a game, you know that probably the next one that gets patted is going to be intercepted. So you throw it a little bit higher. And then in Denver, you throw it a little bit higher, you're already on my luck. So it's going, like, I'm not defending the situation. It was bad. Like 100% it was bad. But I think I said it on a message where you have to look inwards, outwards, then all around it, and then look at it from another angle. At the minute, I wouldn't say we're winning games. We're not losing games.
Yeah.
We won. We won Pittsburgh. We went out. We took that game. And you could probably argue that we won Miami, but really, we didn't lose Miami because Miami done themselves. But we killed Teddy Bridgewater. So 6 and 2 threes. The Green Bay game, again, they didn't perform the way they should have, but we didn't lose. So actually going into the Pats game, I don't think we'll see much difference. I think we might see a few more of these like jet sweep plays with Berrios and Moore. I think there's going to be some kind of trickery going on. I fully agree with the Matt LaFleur comments of we're not putting him in the best situations and lights. But I also kind of want to look at Rob Calabrese, the QB coach, because what Fraser's asking about, that's his job. He's mechanics. Now, I was joking the other night. I did do it for a bite, but I didn't get one, which, well done, mate. When do we call Beck back? Because it was about this point last year where we got him in. And he seems to know how to calm Zach down. Like those last 5 games last year, he was looking like a franchise quarterback. Now, we get him playing like that again. Like, even looking at the schedule now, we know there's at least, there should be 3 or 4 wins in it. That's 9 wins. That's not a bad season. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, yes, we might not have seen the progression, but we got 9 wins, which I know you would have took it because we've talked about it. If I said to you in March, Fraser, we're going to get 9 wins next year, Zach's going to be average, you'd be like, I'm okay with that.
I'd have told you to be quiet. You're talking rubbish.
But you would have been okay with it.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So yeah, at the minute, I'm totally okay. I'm on board with Zach. I am concerned a bit about some of the play calling, but we'll see how it goes. We've got a big test coming up because the City are in town.
I'm riding the hype train, man. I'm just living it up.
I think the worry for me with Zach for this season is while we're winning, obviously we're a very run heavy team right now. Hall going down could actually be a blessing in a sense for Zach, because obviously because we're so run heavy, Zach's not well, look at Flacco. Flacco was throwing, 60 passes in a game at one stage. Obviously, Zach's not throwing anywhere near that. So this potentially might make us have to throw the ball, which will help Zach. He's only going to get better. You'd have thought. My worry is that if they stick with the run game and they keep the run game, and James Robinson is a very, very good player. So if he comes in and he does 3/4 what Hall was doing, and they keep winning, they're going to keep sticking with it. And my worry is it's a Jimmy G situation where the quarterback and the team can go far, but not quite far enough because that quarterback has not quite got the ability to make the throws when he needs to make the throws. And I don't want Zach to be in a position where another year goes past and they're not trying to progress him in that sense. Obviously, he's still young. Next year, it could be totally different, but I just don't want it to be a waste. I understand wins is the most important thing, and we're going to be happy with it, but I want to see them be able to progress Zach as well.
Yeah, see, my big thing, right? It's something I look back at a bit, right? Do you know what I've got a really big issue with at the minute that I don't think is helping Zach? Dwayne Brown. He's a great left tackle. I just don't think he's very good handing off at the minute. I don't think he's vocal enough. And considering he came from Seattle, where he had a very mobile quarterback, he doesn't seem to be able to handle the fact that Zach might need to move. There's been a few where he's engaged in a block. Zach's had to move because of something else, but Dwayne drops his block and that player gets Zach. And you're like, you have to be aware of what Zach's doing around him. And he doesn't seem to be, which...
Yeah, I saw that video for the Broncos game. And he just gave up.
It's like, you can't... I understand he's only got engagement sides, so he can only go hold for so long and block for so long. But he still has to do more to help Zach. But it's not an excuse on Zach, because Zach shouldn't be there and the ball shouldn't be there. But if we're doing this like run pass option where all of a sudden Zach has to make a decision, Brown has to be quick enough to be able to go, I can't be in this position because Zach needs to go past me, so I have to move my player somewhere else. And it doesn't happen a lot, which it's really bizarre because obviously we've got this all-pro left tackle that we've seen him do it everywhere. I mean, he's done it absolutely everywhere. I mean, maybe not so much at the Texans, but when he was at Seattle, he was solid.
But it's the same for that whole left side. Tomlinson's been the same.
Yeah.
He's what's he for the money we're paying him? He's not really done what he should be doing.
Yeah, but do you think we're spoiled because we've had AVT?
Well, yeah, 100%.
Like we look at AVT and go, AVD could have done that. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I look at kickoffs and go, AVT could have done that. I reckon he could kick a 70-yard field goal.
I think he could get 100 yards.
I mean, it is gutting to lose the players that we've lost. I mean, I know people are talking about teams that are injured, but bloody hell, our offense every year, man.
Yeah, and then you look at us 5-2, and you've got all these players missing, and you still look at the offensive line, and you look at Brown, even Mitchell when he was playing, and you think that was still a good line.
But even Herbig.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
I remember last year when like we were joking in the off season when Beckham went first down, when he first went out, I said to you, I'd move Beera took at a tackle, put Herbig in at guard, and just be done with it. Move Fant back over, and we were I was joking on, and you were like, no, that's never going to happen.
I think my issue with that was AVT, not Herberg. So obviously I knew Herberg, just the wife obviously being an Eagles fan, so I knew he was a solid enough guard. My issue was AVT going to tackle, but I think 99% of the fan base had an issue with AVT going to tackle of some sort. But it obviously proved.
And like literally half the Americans started laughing. And then 2 weeks later it happens. I did go back onto it just to be a bit smug, I'm not going to lie.
I don't even follow their pages now. It's not worth it.
Oh no, the spaces I do love. Now, when we're looking at the season now going forward, we've got 2 big weeks, which Callum's wrote about. I'm not so thing on this. It's probably 1 win, 1 loss.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think the Patriots are on a great spiral. It's like we said at the beginning, I think it's more of a psychological thing than anything. I think Bill's very good at getting under our skin, but he was good at getting under the skin of the players that he played against.
Yeah.
This is a new team. Like, as far as they're concerned, the Patriots aren't even our rivals. It's just a divisional game. Like, none of them have been hurt by the Patriots.
Mm.
Like, there hasn't been any of them situations. So that one for me, this weekend, yes, it's going to be a big game. And there's always going to be hype on it and everything like that. And then you always get these writers who make more of it than what there is. But the Bills game, obviously, it's another home game. Now, going to Buffalo is a lot different than Buffalo coming to you. Now, as long as we don't get blown out, like ridiculously, like 40-0, I'm okay with getting defeated because this is getting recorded. I'm saying it, it pains me. The Bills are probably a better team than us. Josh Allen's still trash.
But you get their quarterback, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, 90% of people who watch anything to do with us know that Josh Allen and the Colts, both of them are trash, and I hate them.
There's no denying it. That I think they're a better team. They're not a better team all over, because there's obviously players in our team that are better than theirs, I think. But I think as a whole, each possession group, I think 95% of their roster is probably better than ours. I can't see us winning the game against the Bills. Honestly, I can't. I just think that I think they're going to the Super Bowl. I think they're too good. I really think they're really good. I mean, watched the highlights of one of their games a few weeks back when they had more or less their whole defense injured, and they still just decimated the team they were playing, even on defense. I know every week we keep saying that this is the biggest game of the season. This is the biggest game of the season. So Packers, Broncos, because of how good their defense is. When they were at the time, I think the game against the Patriots, the next game, is the biggest game of the season, because if we lose that, I could see us losing 3 in a row, and that could really, really knock our confidence.
That puts us going 5, doesn't it?
Yeah. But at the same time, if we win against the Patriots this weekend, I think we beat the Patriots in the return game as well. I still think we lose to the Bills. And then I think that's our season. I think our season's sorted then. So to me, this is the biggest game. I could be totally wrong, and we'll probably lose both the Patriots games and beat the Bills.
I'm not making any predictions, but we've all been here before, and we even said at the start of the season, it's going to be the toughest. We're not going to win barely any. This, that, and the other craziest things have happened. I'm not going to make any predictions. I believe we will lose to the Bills. And I agree, the Patriots game is going to be probably the most important game, because obviously then if we lose, then the dominoes will start to fall and confidence gets knocked down. But crazier things have happened. We didn't think we were going to be here, but here we are. We're generally ranked the third best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah,
and that's even just crazy to think about. I think sometimes we need to give ourselves a little bit more credit, because I know we're Jets fans. We predict the worst, because obviously we've been through all this many, 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 many times. Nice. But so far, I'm not going to predict anything, because craziest things have happened. So
what about you, Callum? Obviously, going in 2 biggest games of the season. I think those were your exact words, were they not?
Yeah, I mean, like you said before, I think the thing with the Patriots is it's more of a mental thing. I think it is definitely psychologically, it's the biggest game of the season. Personally, I think we'll do it on Sunday. Score lines, whatever, but I just think something tells me that run's just gonna go on for just 1 more week, and I think you'd be a brave man to say we're going to beat Buffalo. But yeah, like Tom said, stranger things have happened. And, we go into the Bills game 6-2. And I think even if you do lose and you don't get blown out, it's not even a bad result. But I think we'll do it on Sunday. I think there's a lot. It's a bigger game for us than it is for the Pats, but I also think that whole franchise could just get flipped on its head if they lose, not just to Chicago, but to us. Not saying, Chicago are as good as us this season, but obviously just the whole controversy they've got going around the quarterback spot at the moment. I think not just for Mac Jones, but for the Patriots, if they were to lose to us, at MetLife, I think it's really damaging. But I just see us doing it on Sunday. And then obviously, the Bills are the Bills. And like Fraser said, I think I can't see the championship game not being Chiefs Bills. So it's one of those, but I think we can beat the Patriots on Sunday. We've just got to stick to obviously what we've been doing. I think defensively they can try us, but as teams have obviously, noticed so far this season, it doesn't really work. And if the defense can keep putting Zach and the offense in good spots, then you hope that we can do it. Offensively, they've got Matt Patricia on the offensive side of the ball this year, which is pretty funny. But also, they've got a head coach who knows how to frustrate a quarterback. So I think it's going to be a case of Zach being in a bit of a chamber this weekend, but also he doesn't, he knows how to coach a defense, but I don't know whether boxing it like he has been doing. He tried to box Chicago in, and the run game was, really good for them. So I just think we can do it on Sunday, but.
No, absolutely. I mean, you all know me. I'm an eternal optimist. We're going to beat both of them.
Might I just add, we're wearing our whole black uniform. We're actually changing the uniform from what we had done been doing over the last.
If we hadn't have already pre-decided, I don't think he would have changed the uniform.
No, I don't think so either. But like, we're wearing the matte black, we're wearing all black, and I think the defense is going to be hungry this Sunday, and they're going to be going after Mac Jones, and I just don't think they're going to get very far. I'm not predict scores or anything because you know me, and I'm superstitious, and I haven't. And the one time I predicted a score, we lost, so I'm not going to predict a score. But the defense is going to be hungry, and I just think it's going to be with the matte black helmets and all that. Because obviously, like when you wear something different, it's like a mentality type thing. It kind of changes your attitude a bit. And I just think
them for 3 games, and in my personal opinion, all 3 of them are very winnable games.
Of course they are.
Patriots, Bears, and Jags. You got to fancy us in all of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, everything that everybody said is 100% true.
And that's why I think even if the worst did happen and we did lose these next 3, the bye week will come at a perfect time. Because if we had said it, as you say, at the start of the season, we would be 5-5 at the bye week, and then we'd be playing teams like the Jags, the Lions, the Bears, Patriots again, the way that they have been going to kick it off. You'd be thinking, hold on a minute here, I'll take that 5-5. So I think that if we do go on a slump here, I think that bye week will be perfect for us, and we'll reset and we'll come back again and be stronger. I agree with everybody. I think we'll win on Sunday. I do think we'll win, and it's going to be a massive result.
Yeah, in the chat. Any activity out of your voice in that chat on Sunday? I'm bringing it back up.
You know what? I was supposed to be working as well and not getting home until like 6:15, so you wouldn't have heard anything from me because I'd have started watching the game again. But I've managed to get the day off, so
nice.
I'll be all over it.
Is it too much to say that Zach has his signature moment where he throws a ball to Elijah Moore in the 4th quarter, and it's a sort of he's got him moment where he threw it to Corey Davis against Tennessee last season, and Moore catches it and scores a winning touchdown? Is that too bold of a prediction?
No, that's what dreams are made of, mate.
No, I think it's going to be Sauce with a pick six. That's what's going to happen. Just because of
rub it in Bill's face.
Just because of the comparisons with Revis, and then Revis ending up at the Patriots to get his Super Bowl ring and all that nonsense. I just think it's made for Sauce to get that pick six. Or James Robinson's going to run for about 190 yards for 4 touchdowns or something ridiculous. And we're just going to be like, Reese, who?
Yeah.
But no, absolutely, it's going to be a good one. It's been good to get back on and chat with everybody. Cheers for coming on, guys. Everybody, give us a like, a share, a follow, subscribe, and we will speak to you all soon. See you later.